Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the June 9th, 1997 edition of Raw is War. That's where we're at now. And the match card is as follows. We had Ahmed Johnson and the Legion of Doom taking on the Nation of Domination, Crush, Savio, Vega, and Farouk. Goldust takes on the British Bulldog for the European Championship. The Headbangers take on Doug Furness and Philip Lafon. Rob Van Dam makes his return to Raw is War, taking on Flash Funk. Psycho Sid takes on Owen Hart. Rockabilly takes on Bart Gunn. And in our main event, what was supposed to be Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Brian Pillman turned into Mankind versus Brian Pillman. Hello, hello. Welcome. If you are new here, I am Xavier. I'm not so new to wrestling. This is Kelsey. She is the new and new to wrestling. And apologies for our unplanned week off, but your co-hosts got the vid.
Girl.
It was worth it. It was fine.
The co-host got COVID.
Yeah. No, for real.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was really unexpected. I went and visited Kelsey for her birthday, and then we had ourselves a grand old time, and then we got back and everyone was ill. So.
And then we didn't have a grand old time. It's so funny because I don't love my birthday, and every year there's always like this burning desire in me to cancel plans and like just disappear, and I never listen to it, and something like this always happens.
I know.
It's so crazy. I don't know when I'll give it up. I don't know when I'll give it up, Delicious. I do not know. So sorry. Life's really been lifing the crap out of us, but we're back again.
We're back. We're
again. Crazy.
I know. Very, very not planned. We were just bedridden for days. I was specifically told not to come here.
Right. Yeah.
Which is fair. Absolutely valid. I do not need to get other people sick willingly.
Yeah. Willy-nilly.
So let's get into it. So this is the fallout of the King of the Ring 1997, which happened the day prior. In this, it's been a couple weeks for you all. But we got some storylines to follow up on. We are kind of leading into, there's going to be kind of like a stop in Canada, where there's going to be some kind of special event. I don't know if it's its own pay-per-view, or if it's just like a Canadian tour, like they're really like going ham on advertising. I know they're like pushing it big because of the Hart Foundation, and it's like it's like where you really see the juxtaposition of like Bret Hart and the Hart Foundation in Canada and like around the world versus like in America.
In America, yeah.
So we're going to see what that looks like, because Bret Hart laid down the challenge at the King of the Ring for a 5-on-5 match, 5 being the Hart Foundation versus whoever wants to take up the mantle.
Which at the end of the episode, we kind of have a good idea of who the 5
we got like a good, an idea of where this is going.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So this one took place in Hartford, Connecticut. The signs were absolutely wild today.
So weird. If anyone can explain this, like there were multiple signs that just said scoops. Like multiple people. If anyone knows what that's about, like Hartford community, like come through. I don't understand. I don't even know how I would begin to look that up.
No, because it's such a specific like I was like
and nothing else.
Right. But
and
multiple,
then there was like multiple in different places. Like they weren't together.
Right.
It felt like
I was missing a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there was also a sign that just said grub.
Right.
Which relatable. Love to grub. Love.
Same. But like
there was also one that said Loch Ness Fan Club. Again, relatable, but why here?
Right.
They were going crazy. But the audience was going crazy. The Vince McMahon was going crazy. It was like the hit right when he got on the air. The hit.
No, fully. He was
because he opened it with, they're here to scream, they're here to shout, they brought their sons, they brought their grandma. But nobody else.
Nobody else.
No daughters, no moms, no fathers.
Just sons and grandmas. As far as the eye can see.
But the only person who was not present and awake for this match was the announcer. Miss Girl.
Yeah, he was really
asleep
lackluster.
at the wheel. I
There
don't
was
know who
just
this man
something about
was.
every introduction where he just like seemed like he was just bored. Like he's just like
God,
Ahmed Johnson and the Legion of Doom, and you're like, who's that for? First of
poor
all,
girl.
I was like, I should not hear their entrance music louder than you. Like you
I've
need
never heard every single note of every person's entrance music before in
no,
my life.
literally no. Yeah, it was he was asleep at the wheel. I don't know if he was on
Oh
autopilot
my,
or like what,
the
but
Legion of Doom.
yeah, I was
We
like,
were like,
mm, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and we're also like particularly spoiled because the ring announcer that they have now, Samantha Irvine, is amazing.
She's
She
so
absolutely
good.
she eats every single
Eats,
day. That
eats,
so
eats,
much so
eats.
that like they just like record her reactions to things that happen
It's my
during the
favorite thing
show,
ever.
and then it's just social media content after. Like that's how great and interesting she is. Like
I know, I
people
love
just
her
want to
so
see her
much.
react to stuff.
And I mentioned this on a recent episode where I was like, I be in my new hyperfixation is like being in the WWE comments. And I will say people are so mean to her. I think I've talked about this before.
People
Like
are so
they're
mean to
just so
her.
like some like ugly internet trolls
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
mean about it. Like, this is fake. Like what, she doesn't know what's gonna happen. It's like, no, she probably doesn't. Like,
No, I don't think every person that works there is abreast of every decision that is made.
yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
what? Yeah. Because it takes
And
away the
yeah,
zhuzh.
like and also it's like she has all of the like the wrestlers of what like memorized their names, their stats, what so like anything could happen. She's
Right.
prepared. Like
And there's at the end of the day, there's like usually like two people in the ring. One wins. You know their name. You say
mhm,
it. Like it,
right.
regardless of what you know or don't know. It's just like
Mhm.
so I'm always in there like Samantha is so amazing. I love her so much.
She is amazing. She's absolutely
She's
incredible.
incredible. Shout
Um,
out, girl.
no,
Anyway,
really, really, really. Um, all right. So our first match was Ahmed Johnson and the Legion of Doom. Really missed opportunity not having Ahmed Johnson come out with the Legion of Doom
the
spikes.
shoulder
We
spikes.
know
I
he's
was
got them.
outraged.
Like what happened?
And like it's not like they were put to a different use.
No.
Like it seems like they only have one extremely specific use, and it was this
Right.
right here.
Right,
This one
100%.
right here. Could they not find it in storage? Like where they're like, I don't know. We
It
used it
wasn't
once
that
last
long
year.
ago. But like
Yeah.
where would you even begin to lose something like that?
That is such a good point. Mick Foley, get on this on the show.
No,
Where is it?
100%. Like
Where are Ahmed Johnson's one time used shoulder pad, LOD shoulder pads? Because like, are you serious? Really? It's the same match. We didn't whip him out again.
Mhm.
Outrageous and upsetting.
So they will be taking on the Nation of Domination, who has had just their slew of problems.
Girl.
The girlies just can't stop fighting. Crush
Mm.
and Savio clearly do not like each other. I think this was Farouk's like last attempt at like trying to like smooth the
Keep the
sea.
family
No,
together.
he
Keep the
literally he was
band
like, I will
together.
go out there and be on your team to like supervise because
He,
clearly when
yeah.
it's the two of you, you can't handle it.
He thought this was going to be Fleetwood Mac locking themselves in the studio to record rumors. He
And
really was like,
it
this is going to be
just
the
wasn't.
glue. It
Like,
just was.
it simply was not.
It
Um,
was not.
I was trying to think of like another like a couple like in a band where it just went horribly wrong, and I'm trying to think like what like No Doubt,
Oh,
uh,
yeah.
uh
Also, the way the lights keep flickering here because of the storm.
oh my God, the way we're like
The way it looks like I'm about to be in a haunting.
yeah, and let me tell you, you can't hear it, but the thunder is thundering. Like,
Yeah, we are both giving final girl energy. Like we're recording a podcast about wrestling, and then someone just like,
yeah. Not gonna lie though, I am in like a studio warehouse thing. So like most nights when like we record, there is a small sphere that is just the case.
yeah,
Because
honestly,
there's
so
a
true.
whole warehouse downstairs that just
Is
is just dark right now. So,
Yeah.
like,
I can always
which
tell because when you're like scared because you'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna call you after this," and sometimes we just hang up, and then sometimes you call me until you get to your car.
oh yeah, no, yeah, because sometimes it's literally
I love
like I
it.
turn off the lights and like dart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I respectfully, I so get it. I absolutely understand.
So the basically the storyline of this match is just the nation crumbling. It is
Oh my God.
there's miscommunications from the rip. On the commentary, you can like the whole time they're like the other team is clearly a more like cohesive unit, and you're like, okay, yeah, we see what you're laying it on.
Yeah, we got it. We got
Um,
it.
so the match is it it's fine. It's not
It's
like it's not
fine.
gonna win any awards, but it's a story driven match more than it is a like wrestling match.
Yes, it's
Um,
more about the effect than the cause.
correct. So during the match, Crush and Savio, they just leave Farouk high
Girl.
and dry. They said, "We're done
See,
here."
yeah, they
Uh,
like try Crush like tries to tag in Farouk at one point, but then like Ahmed's in there and I guess he doesn't want to fight him or whatever. Like, I don't know. Like
mhm.
it was messy boots from the beginning. Like
Yeah.
it seems like nobody wants to fight these days, respectfully.
Honestly. So yeah, for like Crush got like frustrated like immediately, like in the 3.5 seconds he was actually in the match, like storms out of the ring. They both leave. They leave Farouk high and dry to receive the Pearl River plunge from Ahmed Johnson, and that allows Ahmed and the Legion of Doom to pick up the victory. And we're all like, okay, but where's the nation? We're all like,
Hello.
dude, you got to do something about that. So we'll pick up on that in a little bit. And then
Mm-hmm.
we hear from the 1997 King of the Ring winner, Hunter Hearst Helmsley with China. Basically, Vince brings them down out to the ring, and he's just like, oh, like basically he asks Hunter to defend his actions because he basically cheated to win, as we do, as he does.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then after he won, in a controversial manner, China hit Mankind with a scepter, is a whole thing. There was a pedigree on a table, pedigree
Mm-hmm.
inside.
Mm-hmm.
After Hunter wins, he then bludgeons Mankind with the crown. I for those of you just listening, there was air quotes around bludgeon, because
The crown is made of felt.
the crown is made of felt. It literally looks like it was like ripped from the production of Once Upon a Mattress from my freshman year of high school, and they just threw it at Triple H and was like, "Here you go, you're
No,
now
seriously.
royalty." So stupid.
Oh, they
And
picked that
base
up at Party City on the way.
no
I just know it.
fully, it was that in a bag of ice. They like get it together. Um, so so basically, he's like, why did I do what I did? And he's like, I should have had this moment a year ago. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, he points to him taking the blame for all of the controversy when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash left. And they had that whole moment in the ring where
Mm.
they all like hugged. They broke like kayfabe. He's referencing that
Oh.
because for the
Oh,
entire year following
T.
that, he had to eat it because
Yes.
he was basically the fall guy for that because Shawn Michaels, though he wasn't going anywhere, was the world champion. So we weren't gonna,
Mm-hmm.
not really much you can do to him because you need him. And
Right.
Hall and Nash were gone. So the only person left to kind of eat crow was Triple H. So he's referencing for the last year that he had to be, and like if you really think about it, he did not have a good 1996. He was like
No,
with Mr.
miss.
Perfect, not with Mr. Perfect, with that one random manager. Like he was just he was floundering. It was a lot of, he was doing a lot of jobs that year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so basically, he's like, I took my career in my own hands because clearly you dropped the ball, so you weren't going to give it to me. So I decided to take it,
Right.
which we love to see.
I mean, respectfully, like I love the energy to be honest. And like Triple H, he pisses me off. He grinds my gears in a
Mhm.
lot of ways, but not a lie was spoken, and I respect that.
No, yeah. And basically, he goes and challenges the entire WWF locker room. He's like, if anybody wants to step up, like, like, here I am, you know where to find me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is when Mankind pops up on the Titantron. He's like, knock knock. It's so funny. It's so
Hey,
good.
love it.
Um, and Triple H had made some reference about like this ring being like his house. And
Mm-hmm.
Mankind gets on the Titantron. He's like, I would like admission to your house of pain, please. And you're just like, okay.
And then he's like, and when I get in there, I want a rematch. And he screamed that part. And I was like,
Mhm. I was
I
like,
just
okay.
love him.
I honestly, for real. And then Triple H turns it to China And he's like, I don't think he deserves anything. Like, what do you think, China? We hear China speak for the first time.
The
And basically,
first
she's just like,
time.
I think you should come down to the ring right now and kiss my ass. And
Love.
Mankind in the best retort, like, and I love it when the timing's just right there.
Oh my
Where like
God.
you hear something and you're like, oh, I got it. Like locked in the chamber.
Yep, yep,
She goes, kiss
totally.
my ass. He's like, well, it's your lucky day because I'm a good kisser. And then like
Period.
he comes out the Titantron and starts coming down to the ring. Amazing.
It's so good. And the way I'm going to use that, I've learned so much on this
Mhm.
show so far, and most of it is comebacks that I plan on using. Because that, like, if someone said to me, kiss my ass and be like, it's your lucky day because I'm a good kisser, that
Right.
would just, the way that would tear up
You
someone.
are now wrong. You are now wrong.
Oh my God, so good. And I'm going to use that.
Basically, Mankind never fully makes it all the way to the ring. And that's kind of that on that. They are going to have many a match down the line. Don't you worry. They have great chemistry. This is just the beginning of that. Um, then we get an appearance from Sunny, because she's still around.
It's apparently on the payroll still.
Who
God
knew?
bless her.
They basically I literally just have a note that says Sunny is a merch model now.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
She's a billboard they put
She's there
things
for the
on.
commercials and for selling t-shirts.
At least they didn't make her do the super soaker one this time because that was really starting to
Great.
drain morale. It's really getting a little tore down by that one.
Yeah, and so she just comes out in like a Raw is War t-shirt. She's just, modeling and then leaves.
But the way that she was cinching it from the back herself the whole time. I don't know if you
Mhm.
noticed that, but she was literally just like her arm was like this holding it so it
Yeah,
looked more like a dress. And so
yeah,
she's
more like
like,
form fitting. I was like, girl, get a
yeah.
belt. Like, what is this?
Because spoiler alert, the way Sable comes out later and chews her up is
Is
crazy, but literally, yeah,
Mhm, mhm,
just
mhm. Then we get a recap essentially of the entire European title tournament and how the British Bulldog came to be the champion because he will be making his first defense of that title. And it's been so long that we had to, they had to
I
be
was gonna
like,
say they
they
put the
had to be
date and it
like,
was February, and this
right.
match was June 9th.
That's, yeah. First defense. First defense. It's been a
5 months.
long time.
Yeah.
So this one was great. I think this was the first time I've really seen the two of them go at each other, for the most
Mm-hmm.
part.
Mm-hmm.
Very, contrast in styles. Goldust is Goldust. He's a fantastic technical wrestler, added
Mm-hmm.
in with some just weird pizzazz because that's his thing.
Right.
And as we know, British Bulldogs, the power game. He's got the speed. I thoroughly enjoy the British Bulldog. I don't think we see enough of him like in the
I
ring,
agree.
because he's
Absolutely agree.
really good. And this is, he's been around for a long time. But at this point, we know he
Yeah.
was tag team champions with the Dynamite
Dynamite
Kid like
Kid.
back in the day. That's like
Mm-hmm.
92. So he's not like new to the game. But I don't know. I just think they like don't utilize him enough.
I agree, especially when he won the European Championship. I was like, okay, so he's gonna like have to defend that more, have to go out, be a
Right.
solo wrestler more. Like he's just gonna have to get like be more present. And the way that just like didn't happen.
Right. Because he was just by proxy just absorbed into
The Hart
the Heart
Foundation.
Foundation's bullshit, which is
Yeah.
mostly centered around Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels.
The British Bulldog is just kind of roped into
Mm.
fighting Bret Hart's battles against Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this one was great. You got to get like the some of your classics from the two. You get like the vertical suplex from the British Bulldog, which is just
Mm-hmm.
crazy always because he's just like hoisting 300-pound men over his head like it's nothing and like just holding them there.
Yeah.
Um we have like a controversial like sort of finish where Goldust does like a DDT, and then goes to pin the Bulldog, and then the referee does count the three, but the Bulldog's foot is on the rope. But
Mm.
like for some reason, the like Goldust music started playing before the bell rang. Like I don't know who had trigger finger like in the truck, but
Right. Again, asleep at the wheel. Like they were
um
just like, shit. And then like hit the play. And then they're like, oh wait, no.
no,
Like
seriously.
that was weird.
Yeah, and then from there, like basically the match slows down because the Bulldog gets in control. He basically has Goldust in a sleeper for like 5 minutes. They start tussling on the outside of the ring, and they get double counted out, even though it felt like they were there for like 3.5 seconds,
They
like
were
maybe.
outside the ring for 3 seconds.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know where this
no
double
time
count
at
out
all.
came from
It was so
because
random. I didn't even hear him count. Suddenly it was just like the bell was rung and it was like double count out. And I was like, did he even count? I didn't
right,
normally they make such a production of it.
right. I don't know. It was
So crazy.
very weird, very strange.
Did not
But
like it.
after the match, obviously Bulldog's, not done, so he's going after Goldust. Marlena comes over and slaps him 2 times, not once,
Twice.
twice. She reared back. I love it when she gets involved. It's so fun.
Me
Um,
too. A little slap
and
slap.
the Bulldog basically just like looks at it, like looks at her, and it's like, your man's is getting it now. He's like, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
hit you, but
I will hit him.
yeah, absolutely. So he goes and grabs a steel chair. Of course, Marlena runs into the ring, throws her body on Goldust because
Love.
like no one stands by her man like that one. And
Period.
then Ken Shamrock comes in and just grabs the Bulldog from behind, slams him down, and is like, okay, what now? Like, you want to fight? Um, and I honestly, like the Ken Shamrock like takes off his shirt, and then it's literally just like cousins, identical cousins. It's so weird. Like
It
they
is
look so
so
similar.
I would have never noticed until it happened.
Mm-hmm.
When he took his shirt off, suddenly I was like,
Wait, wait,
it
wait,
was like the
wait.
Spider-Man meme where it was
No,
like,
literally,
hold on.
very, very strange. They were like
So
those gay
weird.
couples that look like identical twins that are for some reason dating, and you're like, that's weird.
That is bizarre. Like maybe they looked like kind of similar, but now that they've been like a few months into it, now they've like
Like,
really
yeah, they
look
like,
alike.
yeah,
Like
because like in your relationship, you kind of like, you morph a little
things
bit.
merge. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But like when you already start out like as like a like yeah, you can copy my homework, just change something. Like then it's like it's too late. Like
Oh
it's too
my
late by that
God.
point.
No,
Um
that's so true.
no, yeah, wild. And then we get taken backstage because there's commotion in the Nation of Domination locker room. Doc's outside the door, just like I personally would have found it funnier if he was just like on the outside of the door with like a glass cup, like
I
just like to his ear,
respectfully,
like.
because the eavesdrop game, I get it. I'm here for it. Like you're a
Mhm.
journalist, you're trying to get the tea. The
The school.
glass cup would have the scoop. The glass would have sent me over the edge. He should have done that.
Yeah,
So,
oh, it would have been great. Instead, he like holds the microphone like up to the door. He's like, "Listen," and you're like,
and it just sounds like
yeah, it's just like grumbles and like
yeah,
just like a low roar, I guess, behind the
yeah.
door. And then Farouk comes storming out, and Doc's like, "Yo, do you want to tell us like what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the ring. I'm gonna tell you all what's going on right now." And so,
And honestly, it's one of the first times I've really respected him because he was like, all right, I got the tea and now I'm gonna spill. Let's
right.
go to the ring. And
No, no,
I
he's like,
I kind of love that about him.
No, he's like, "No, we're not gonna play telephone with this." I was
Yeah,
like,
like
he's like, "No, we're gonna stand on
you were getting
business."
the news
Like,
direct. Let's go.
um, Farouk comes out and basically I won't get into all of what he says because some of it is, racist.
Son,
And
mama.
basically, the gist of what he was trying to get at is that he pulled Savio and Crush out of obscurity, from whatever they were doing before,
Mm,
and brought them to like the heights of the nation, and guided them, brought them to a new level, blah 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 blah
right.
blah. And basically, he's like, Savio, you're fired. Crush, you can stand next to your friend in line, also fired. Then he turns around to like all of those stooges in the back. And like just earlier in the episode, I was like, what a great gig. Like
I know. Oh
they
my God,
don't
you
do
really jinxed
jack.
it.
They don't do jack. They come out there, they like get to collect their paycheck, and then they leave. And then literally not 30 minutes later, Farouk's like, and y'all don't do nothing. Y'all are fired too. And then
Fired for the reason we said the gig was good.
no,
They
no,
they don't have
literally,
to do anything. And he was like, you don't do anything, fired.
no,
And we were
fully
like,
fired. And then the twist of it all is like I thought at first like D'Lo was included in that mess, like when
hmm.
D'Lo was standing with them. But he goes, uh basically he like swerves us all. He's like, D'Lo, hold the ropes open for Clarence Mason. you're fired. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Clarence was like
Girl.
dumbfounded. I love
But
that.
we're like, again, like, what has Clarence ever done? Like,
No,
except
literally
have a
though.
spastic episode like every time anything happens.
Right. Um, so so basically there is a whole new, we're having a nation overhaul. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is the only members of the nation are Farouk and D'Lo Brown, and he challenged Ahmed Johnson and The Undertaker to a match next week. So we'll see what's going on there, which new members emerge. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is the overhaul I wanted.
I know you said like you
Overhaul we
actually
needed.
the way you watched this with such glee because you were just like you were just like look at him trimming the fat
The
as he
trim
should
no,
just
this is
trimming the
and
fat.
I'll agree. Like this is the one time where I was like, "Go off, Farouk, go off." Yeah, I was like, "These dudes ain't doing jack for you. Aren't
Except
doing jack."
fighting,
Um,
messy.
yeah,
I
and I'm
get
like,
respectfully. And
and
You said you were like D'Lo is the only one that's been really taking bumps for Farouk, who's
mm-hmm,
really been eating the shit sandwich for Farouk. And it's about time. It's
it is
about
about
time he
time.
got his flowers. He stayed quiet. He paid his dues. He stayed loyal, and now he's on the up. It's a
Mm,
nation of one,
oh,
but here they are.
but here they are.
It's a nation of
Um,
one, number one and number two, and that's all we got. But we'll see.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
New
Uh,
recruitment pending.
yeah, very, very excited about that. This is good. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Because this nation, this first iteration, lackluster. Didn't do it for
Mess.
me.
Terrible.
Too many, yeah, it's just like too many people, like, and too many with no obvious purpose. Like,
Amen.
so yeah, it's just like I know you like there is something to be said about like, like rolling up with like a squad, but like when the squad is like that useless,
Well, that's what I'm
what are you
saying.
really rolling up with, you
When
know?
you roll up with a squad and not one of them would jump in to the fight, don't even bring the squad.
Right.
Just
Like
don't even bring
they're
it. They're
not
going to
even there.
record
It's
you.
worse that they're there.
It's worse because they're recording you and putting you on World Star. They don't care about you.
No, no,
Don't
fully.
bring them.
Mm-mm,
New
useless.
crew.
New crew.
You
New
just need
crew.
one good dog in the fight, and
Mm.
that's D'Lo Brown.
Amen. Ah, love D'Lo. Anyway, next we get a cut. The camera cuts to the crowd where we see our boy Paul E and Tommy Dreamer making their way down.
Tommy Dreamer in those jeans, my God.
Yeah, he was really where he's rocking the acid wash, and
Mm.
so they're coming down to kind of like peep the RVD situation. The See, this like storyline is hard to follow because half of it takes place in
And
ECW.
ECW.
And for the sake of the show, it's too much
Mm-hmm.
to go back and forth. But I would like to at some point rehash this time period because
Yes,
I would really I want to
100%.
know like the how this plays out like in ECW because
Yeah.
what's happening in ECW is wild.
Oh,
So
good girl. My
so
God. I mean, we've toyed around with this idea before, like, and maybe someday, um, we would do a like how we watch Raw, but do
mhm.
ECW because the difference is ECW unfortunately has a finite finish.
Yes.
So like it would be like a very extended like sidebar, but I
Mhm.
would definitely love to venture
Yeah.
one day.
Yes. I no, I agree. Mostly just because they show like some parts of it, um, of like the story of what happened in ECW, but then they're like, we'll show you the rest on Shotgun Saturday
Which is
when
where
we can
really
show you.
I was gonna say, which is like the only place they can really play it. So fair, it's fair.
Yeah. So they take their seats in the crowd, and then we have a tag team match between the Headbangers and Philip Lafon and Doug Furness, who have now dubbed themselves the most exciting tag team to ever have existed. They come out to
Mm.
silence, silence, no music, no video, no crowd reaction, silence.
They went Lil Mama, no music in the lip gloss video. No music.
Crazy. Crazy. And I love that JR on commentary was like, yeah, that entrance was super exciting. They had pyro, they had like fancy robes,
Music.
the music was great.
Mm.
Like really, really exciting stuff, right, guys? And you're like,
He
I was like, ooh.
he had enough. He was like, somebody's got to say this.
Yeah. I was like,
The
because that's
math is
crazy.
not mathing.
Yeah, and like I get it, and there really is like a weird disconnect between the crowd and these two. I
It's
don't.
so true.
It's they are not interested. They're just not like.
Hate it.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're so good. But we've talked about this before. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. Like, if you can't connect, like if you can't reach, that last like 10 feet to the audience, then like you might as well be wrestling in a gym. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
Ooh.
like it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah, it's
it
true.
doesn't
They
matter how
are
many people you're in front of if you're not connecting to any of them. Then like it's a waste of an opportunity.
the way it was so silent, so crazy. Like,
So
and it's like
crazy.
sold. I don't know if it was sold out, but it was definitely packed.
Yeah,
And they were going feral the whole time, and then it was crickets
yeah,
until like an ECW chant broke out
yeah,
at
yeah,
one
yeah,
point,
yeah.
which is
And the
not
thing
what you
is,
want to happen because it's not even the match with the ECW guy yet,
mhm. And the no, but it happens.
which I love. But I'm just saying,
And the thing is, like, it's just so funny because they like busted out this like most exciting tag team, blah 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 blah, and then put them against the Headbangers, like,
girl,
which is just like the juxtaposition is so crazy on that. Where you're like the most exciting tag team, and you're like, these dudes are nuts. These dudes are absolutely crazy.
yeah.
So
So I don't know about all that. I don't, yeah, I thought for like a minute there that Doug and Phil were gonna do like some sort of rebrand into like a villain era and like kind of link up with the
the
Hart
Heart
Foundation
Foundation.
because they got that Canadian whatever
Hmm.
juice. But
I would love to see them as like a heel group, like just I like I would love to see like I would book them just like they are like fed up, like they're just so tired of it that they just
yes.
start losing it, like and just start like going nuts on everybody.
Yeah, like
Um,
cheating, robbing, stealing.
right. Or even just like attacking people like backstage. Like give me something. Give
Do
me
something.
something.
The
Um,
juice.
this match is it's fine. The match basically ends when I always get them confused. Philip Lafon, uh, nope, Doug Furness. Nope, I was right the first time. Philip Lafon misses a splash from the top rope. He goes to stop a pinfall attempt. One of the headbangers moves out of the way at the last second, so that Lafon splashes Furness, and then the headbangers start the pinfall, and as like Lafon's like going to like break it up, he gets dragged out of the ring by the other headbanger. One, two,
Mm,
three. That's it.
that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
So I don't know. I
Yeah.
like Doug Furness and Philip. Like I like them as wrestlers, but I am starting to like. I get it. I get the like. Why would you keep dragging them out here for nothing?
I
Like for no
know. It's so
reaction.
sad. I
Yeah.
hate it.
Hmm.
But c'est la vie.
Hmm. 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 So then we get a backstage interview with Jerry and RVD. Really, I like Jerry did a lot of the talking, which I guess is like the point of him like being with RVD, but he like lost his voice at the King of the Ring. So he like this promo was the most like composed I've ever seen Jerry the King Lawler, because he just
Yep.
like couldn't do it. Like he
Yep.
could not just give all that razzle dazzle as he usually does.
He was like
Uh,
giving like a meeting, like a presentation in a meeting. And he's
right,
like,
but like
okay, so
just
these are
the
the
bullet
numbers.
points. Right.
Yeah, these are the numbers for last month. These are our projected numbers for the next month. And we expect this amount of percentage of growth. So, and we
Yeah.
were like,
Oh, right.
oh,
But basically he was just
okay.
like I don't know why you let them in here, who sold them a ticket, like what are we doing here? Which again,
Gra-da-da.
like technically not wrong. Like
It's true. It's
as
true.
far as like, working for a company goes, like I'd also be like, they don't go here.
They
Like,
don't, yeah, they don't go here. And also it's not like they're subtle. I mean,
no.
they're wearing like I mean, it's Paulie Dangerously in the trench coat and the hat, and like
Right.
he might as well just wear the headpiece,
Right.
the like that you're like
Hmm.
whatever. And then it's Tommy Dreamer, who's so obvious just in the ECW
Right.
shirt, like he just
There
they're
is nothing.
unsubtle.
No, there is nothing subtle about Paul Heyman. Like
No, and I love that about
there
him.
there there is nothing that is like oh, what was that? No, you know,
Mm-mm.
you know when Paul
You're like
Heyman is
this
here. Yeah, no,
a little bit,
amazing.
covering your ears.
So next we get a promo from Stone Cold. He comes down to the ring. Vince is interviewing him. They ask him about his actions of last night when he gave Brian Pillman the swirly of a century. Um,
Love.
I love that. And this is like the first time they also gave us a lot of backstory on the Pillman Stone Cold feud, which also has been going on for way too long.
It's so
Um
long.
yeah, and it's the first time they make any like reference to that the
The
infamous
break-in.
the break-in segment. They
So
don't show
crazy.
the ending obviously because they got in trouble for it the first time.
Hmm.
So you kind of get like it stops right at Stone Cold breaking into Pillman's house, and you're like, oh, but yeah, it's been forever.
Yeah, and I was
But
happy to see it because I forgot that he used like a radio flyer wagon to hit
no,
somebody.
fully,
And
I
it
love
was
that.
good to see that. Like I needed that morale boost. I was like, oh, I forgot about the wagon.
So
Hey
crazy, like
girl.
literally just beating up grown men with like children's toys.
Yep. And I love to see Miss Swirly again.
So
I wanted to
absolutely,
see
the way
her.
they played it like multiple times was great.
Love. Thank
Um,
God.
honestly. Basically, Vince asked him, he's like, "Are you proud of your action?" He's like, "You're damn right, I'm proud." He's like, "There's not many things that bring a smile to Stone Cold's face, but that sure as hell was one of them."
Wow.
And he's like, "The only thing I feel bad about is that there wasn't like something more in the toilet when I gave him the swirly." And I was like, "Love to see it. Love to see it."
Uh,
He's so
what a
unhinged. I
guy.
live for it.
I know, me too.
Basically, then he's asked about Bret Hart's challenge, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'll be the first one to volunteer." He's like, "I don't really need partners. Last time Gorilla Monsoon made me get a partner, I got stuck with Shawn Michaels." And then he goes and addresses Gorilla Monsoon immediately, and he's like, "If you want to get in my business again, I will kick your fat ass just like I kicked Bret's." And you're like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh." I
The
was like,
way he called Gorilla Monsoon a fat ass is so
so
crazy.
crazy. Like the way, like you're just like, "Oh, okay." Like I'm just like imagine like I'm Gorilla Monsoon just sitting at home like minding my business just like
Me?
the
Are you sure?
that's crazy. It was funny but like but so crazy. Um so basically Stone Cold is just like I don't really need partners. I'll bring your whole family. I don't care. I'll take on the whole Hart family reunion by myself
Mm-hmm.
if I have to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so, and then
Love
he
it.
leaves on his merry way, and we love to see it. That man is just like Spitfire, Spitfire, Spitfire. I'm out. Like, and I
It's
love
so
it.
good.
It's
Mm-hmm.
the that opening scene of the Britney Spears music video, where she's like, "F you, F you, F you, you're cool, F
Yeah.
you,"
Love
like,
it. It's
and
so, so
but
true.
it's every promo.
But
Like,
every single one, he has to remind everyone he hates them.
mhm.
It's very Grinch like.
Fully.
I know he's stealing Christmas this year.
Amen. So, in our next match, we have Rob Van Dam from ECW taking on Flash Funk, formerly um, an ECW wrestler. So, this is not the first time they've crossed paths, which is kind
No,
of
I
fun and
love that.
exciting. Um, Paul and Dreamer are causing a ruckus on the outside before the match starts, obviously.
Duh.
Apparently, the storyline is Paul Heyman is taking great umbrage with the fact that Jerry Lawler is taking RVD to other wrestling companies because he's an ECW contracted wrestler.
Yeah, like it's
But
so
as we know
weird.
about ECW contracts, many of them
Hmm.
were just a spit
Handshakes.
shake and a prayer. So, like, so I guess technically he's free to do whatever he wants. But this match was great. They're both incredibly athletic. They both lean towards the high flying.
I love it.
I Rob Van Dam. Rob
I
Van Dam
love that guy.
is another one that is just criminally underrated. That
Do you
guy,
think he's underrated? I
I
mean,
think
I
he's
truly don't know.
so
New to wrestling
underrated.
question. I really don't know.
I think in the grand scheme, and especially the way that one, how long it took him to get to like a WWE like world championship, like the way that he had to like give it up because weed, and then
Oh,
Like, yeah, it's stupid things that, like, I get it in the time that they were in, wasn't allowed, blah 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 blah.
Hate
But
that.
nowadays, by today's standards, you're like,
Girl.
everybody's high. What are you talking about? like, what are you talking about? Like,
Like, that's not, you guys are on trial for steroids and like
right,
real shit, but Miss MJ is the problem?
right.
That's
Yeah, but
crazy.
anyway, but yeah, no, he is just so good, and he's just like one of those people that you can put him in like a mid card like title. You can have him fight for like the Intercontinental Champion, the European Championship all day long. Doesn't You can put him anywhere on the card, and it works. He's so good.
I mean, he's so
And in ECW,
talented.
like he was top dog there for a long time, but it's like, I don't know. I think in the grand scheme of his whole career, we he could have been like a top level like guy for longer.
Mm,
He like eventually like makes it to the top,
hmm.
but he's just not there long. And I just
Interesting.
feel like for how good he is, I don't know. I personally I will go on the limb and just say he is criminally underrated.
Interesting. From my limited understanding and my complete outside perspective, like my understanding of Rob Van Dam is he has like people really love him. He has like a cult following. Like I'm even thinking of like just the how the Rob Van Dam like really takes off like the
Mm,
chant, like it's
right.
crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's because even now it's like no one does it, but he still does it. And I was
Yeah.
like, one day this will be like deafening to the ear that
Ugh,
people will chant your name, which is
they do, and
crazy.
they do.
Yeah, and like even like Suplex Vintage Wrestling, like the shirt they put out this year for 420, so
So good.
good.
So good.
Um, yeah, I just feel like he has love and respect of fans, even if
Right.
he wasn't like top dog for so long.
Right, right. This match was great. We see, again, some classics from each of them. Flash Funk does an incredible moonsault. It was like a thing of beauty today. It was really nice.
So good.
And then Rob Van Dam picks up the victory with his split-legged moonsault, which is just crazy. Like,
It's so
he's
insane every
so
time I see it.
flexible. It's nuts. Like, you've seen those like videos of him like just like doing the splits, and like
Hmm.
you're nuts. You are
He's
absolutely
so
insane.
like flexible and bouncy and just
His
all over
legs
the
are just
place.
like ridiculously strong. Like,
He's a spring. He's just a little loaded spring.
because the way he can just like standing like just clear like the ring ropes, and like not just like clear them, like so much so that he's like basically in the audience, like in the first row of the
It
audience.
is insane. I love
Oh,
him with that stupid ponytail. My God.
so good. Yeah, and he's still
And
rocking that
that's it.
ponytail.
Yeah,
Like,
he still has it.
no,
I clocked
Rob
it
Van
at
Dam is
the
like,
Hall of
this is my
Fame.
Luke, and that is it.
And that
Like,
is my Luke.
um
That's crazy.
I love that. So after the match, it gets crazy. Paul E jumps the barricade, goes after
Duh.
Jerry, gets rocked because Paulie's not a wrestler. And like
I know, it's terrible.
I love that it does not stop him. Like, it does not deter. It's not even like a thought. The man's just like, oh no, we're fighting. Like,
I love it. I love his energy so much. He's like, I'm gonna get like the beans knocked out of me, but I'm
but
making the first
but I'm
move.
going in. Yeah.
Period.
I love that.
Respect.
Of course, Tommy Dreamer gets involved. Him and RVD are going back and forth. Paul and Jerry are like just like brawling all over the place. They get separated by like a slew of referees and officials just to like for Tommy to just knock them all out of the way, chase RVD down again. They get
Love.
like knocked over in the corner. Paul like jumps over the mess that is that by the ring steps, and like goes and gets a couple more licks in on Jerry just to get walloped again.
It's
Like,
so good.
you're like, sir, I love the energy, but sir.
Like,
Like,
I don't know, maybe take like a self-defense class or something, like a little something.
no,
Like
I love it.
I
He
love
always just comes in like, why I
just
oughta. And you're like, you know what I mean? And you're just like, okay. Like, backwards
not the why
fists.
I
Like, what
oughta.
is this?
Just piss and vinegar.
No,
Just-
the man, every time that man pisses, it hurts. Like, that man is just full of vitriol. I
oh
love
my
it.
God. And it is so respectable to me.
Hmm The way I put that man on a pedestal is absurd.
It's disgusting, and you guys should all hate me for it, and whatever.
Whatever.
And whatever.
So next we see Psycho Sid taking on Owen Hart. This is Psycho Sid's last match. We see him one more time in about a month. But this is the last time we see him wrestle in the WWF. Until like years until like the 100th episode of Raw or something like that, which is like years and years and years later. They bring him back for like an anniversary kind of situation. Basically, he's leaving to have neck surgery. He'll have like a very brief stint in ECW and then end up back in WCW because he started in WCW. Well, he was in WCW for a long time. I don't know if he started there. In the early part of the 90s, he was very back and forth between the companies, but not in like a the way it is now, where it is such a like the thing to do.
Yeah.
So this match has Ken Shamrock on commentary for some reason, mostly I think to kind of put him into this 5-on-5 situation. But if I'm being honest, it was really annoying. Like,
oh my
really,
God,
really, really
shut
annoying.
this man up, seriously.
He just got going on and on about like how it's unfair when like people have like like other wrestlers come out and like help, and it's like a 2-on-1 and it's like, yeah, no, duh, like obviously, but like wrestling managers have been a thing since the beginning of time, and like it's just like it was just an annoying complaint, and it was only one complaint that was lodged over and over again. Eventually it's just like, no, your point has been made. Like we get it. And I understand you have this like righteousness that lives inside of you where you got to do right, but like just do the thing, just do the right thing, and then stop talking.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's
that's a general life rule for everybody. Just do the right thing and stop talking.
Stop with the performative activism.
No, really, it's just like
do the right thing and stop talking.
Like honestly. So my favorite part of this entire match, and is my favorite thing, is Owen has like Psycho Sid in like a knee like lock, and he's like, I'll break his knee off, I'll do it. And you're like,
oh God,
as if he's like just waiting for somebody to challenge him. And I live for this man. I
love it. And then when he goes to do the sharpshooter,
he's
like, yeah, sharpshooter, or like whatever he says. Oh my God, we were cracking up. It was just he funny.
Me endless joy in the ring.
And
I don't know.
Like he shouldn't. Like he should really piss me off.
He's a bad guy, technically.
And he doesn't. Like he's just so funny. Sharpshooter, woo.
No, because it's just like it's really like fun to see somebody like love what they're doing, and it just kind of seems like he just loves what he's doing. Like like regardless of like what's going on, like he's having a good time. Like, so
it's so true.
And I think that's just so infectious, and that's probably why I'm so obsessed with him. But it's just like, you're so funny.
Like, most of the time we're like laughing but like shaking our head like, no.
Yeah, no, literally. You're like, oh,
you bad kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny.
Yeah, and then so Owen is accompanied by Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Ken Shamrock takes great offense to Neidhart's involvement in the match. Comes around, does the exact same move he did to the British Bulldog, and takes down Jim the Anvil Neidhart, which then it like slightly distracts Owen. He like looks over, he's like, what's going on? And then he gets chokeslammed like basically through the mat, and Psycho Sid picks up the victory. So
yeah,
it just seems like, I know, like, as if we were just watching this, like whatever, you would know that it's like Psycho Sid's like last match for a hot minute, but like, I don't know. Typically there's like and it could be just like a like they didn't know he was like not gonna come back or anything. But typically there's like a thing with wrestling. It's like when you go out on your back, like you lose. Yeah,
so it's like a comeback.
Yeah, it's your way of like paying it forward, is like on your way out, you lose to prop somebody else up.
Well, that makes sense.
Typically.
Yes.
But again, it could just be like they didn't know. because there's a gap in from middle of the year 1997 to 1999 when he shows up in ECW. So there was probably a like, you know, he's recovering from surgery, blah blah. They might have just been very up in the air, but yeah.
Interesting.
Next, Sable comes out and absolutely eats Sunny up. She comes out, it is the same exact shirt. It is
Same
the same,
shirt.
it's the same shirt. Same shirt. She comes out, she has it like cinched at the waist. She's got like a
She like
high-waisted, like,
rolled it up. Yeah.
and she got like a what was it, high-waisted like leather skirt? Was it
It
black?
was, I think it was almost like spandex, like
Mm.
either it might have been like shorts, like little shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, this is the difference, children, between wearing and styling.
Yes.
Like Sunny
Yes.
wore the shirt, she did her job, but Sable styled the shirt. She like
Right.
rolled it up, she wore the little like latex or spandex like shorts or whatever, and
The
like the
big sunglasses. She looked like
Sunny's hair.
$1 million.
She
Oh.
had the boots. Like she just walked out. She gave a walk. She like served. She was like really, I mean, Doc was like panting on the
Oh,
microphone, which is
absolutely.
disturbing, but that's fine. Yeah, she absolutely ate it up. Like I'm sure she was selling the shirts.
Yeah.
Like she sold the shirts. Like no offense to Sunny, but like you hand cinching it and you're just that's
Standing.
it.
Yeah.
Just
Um,
standing there, Miss Girl.
yeah, and we know you can do better. Like you used to
We
come out and just
do.
like make us all look at a giant poster of you. Like, where's that energy?
Where is
Like
that? Where is it? Wake up, girl. Blink it. I
um,
literally wrote like about Sunny, like blink twice if you're in there.
right, right. Like
Scary.
lights are on, no one's home. Uh
Absolutely.
Mark Miro comes out and grabs Sable and like brings her backstage. Make note of that. That is
Yeah,
going to
because
be a more you're going to
like
start seeing Sable's
pertinent.
star rise and Mark Miro more and more be like, oh no, like why are you all gawking at my like wife? Yeah, like yeah. So
And I hate a man like that, let me tell
mhm.
you. And there was like weird tea where it was like there was like speculation. I don't even remember who said it. There was like speculation that like Sable had something going on with Undertaker.
What was this?
They said that while she was modeling the shirt. I'm sure you were distracted by her just like
Yeah,
incredible feminine
absolutely eating.
beauty.
Yeah, that must have
You.
been it. As I am
But
known to do.
I heard the Undertaker and I went,
That's
what?
crazy.
So yeah, they said that she had some sort of like she was accused or like there was rumor, speculation she was having some sort of little
Oh, is
tryst with
that
the
why when they first showed
Undertaker.
her and Mark Miro backstage, she was looking
They
all
were beefing.
pouty?
They was
Yeah.
beefing.
Well, more to come
So
on that because
love.
where Sable is not nearly the star she's going to be. So
I am so happy because I feel like I missed her because Mark Miro's been injured, so she's also been kind of sidelined for
yeah.
that. Hate to see it.
Mm-hmm. Um, so yeah, so I guess we're gonna be seeing the return of Mark Miro soon. He doesn't seem to be very injured anymore, so we'll
Mm-hmm.
see. Again, I like to see him in the ring. Other than that,
Same.
could care less.
Same.
And yeah, so that's that on that. And after that, we get our final installment of the Mankind interview, and this is my like favorite. This is the my favorite one.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. It's so good. It touches on so many things. Um, and it shows like a humanity, but also his like psychosis, like in one foul swoop. Like
I
it
loved
was
it.
crazy.
It was so
Um,
good.
JR basically asks is like, why didn't like Cactus Jack like make his way to uh the WWF? And he's like Vince didn't want him here. Like this, he didn't want him. So like he's like, every time I do the mandible claw, it's I am imagining it's Vince McMahon, and I'm saying like, why didn't you take me when I was good? Why didn't you take me when I was young? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then they like JR brings on like the a comment that Mankind had made about Shawn Michaels and wanting him to spend the rest of his career like handing out like tickets, basically being like a ticket ripper.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into this whole thing where it's just like, why is it like when it's Shawn Michaels, it's like it's a boy in his dream? And like what about why didn't anybody say like, oh, it's like Mankind in his like we had the same dream? Like why
Yeah.
is it that like one is perceived like this and I'm perceived like this?
Yep.
Um
And I don't know who did the editing for this segment, but they had like all these like beautiful clips of like Shawn Michaels like with the watermark over it of
Mhm.
like childhood pictures of Mick Foley like being a wrestler, like
Mhm.
whatever. I was like, whoa. Like they
Yeah.
really like took it there. And I was like, who
Mhm.
did this? A plus.
Mhm. 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 And then uh JR makes a comment about basically like, when do you think it's time to just like take responsibility for your own like actions, your own like life?
Like,
And
don't at me next time.
no, seriously, that was brutal. I was like, oh my God, don't
We
look
were
at
like,
me.
ooh, ow. So
um,
lower your voice.
no, 100%. I didn't know I was getting shouted at. And so then this is when it kind of like really goes off the deep end. And he basically, Mankind like turns on JR and he's like, I want you to do your damn job. And he's like, you're a powerful man, Jimmy. You have a lot of reach, like to a lot of people, and you have influence. And for some reason, you have told people that I enjoy pain or I don't feel pain. He's like, and then he starts like hating himself. He's like, I feel the pain, like I feel pain just like everybody else. Like he's like, it hurts. And yeah, and then he really like snaps and gives JR the mandible claw, which is
Girl.
crazy because you hear all of it because JR is mic'd. So like you hear him gasping for air, him choking,
Oh
like,
God.
oh, it was brutal.
It was
And
so
like
traumatic.
there's like not a quicker way to get me to like heave than like hearing someone else like real close. Like
Yeah, because he like really like because he gave him the mandible claw, that was traumatic enough. And then the aftermath of it, where you could tell like JR was like gagging and
yeah.
like really, like you said, like heaving. It was like,
Yeah, it
oh
was
my
rough.
God,
And
it was
then
crazy.
the craziest part of the whole thing is there's like a moment where he looks like he like snaps out of it and he like starts like backing away and he's like he's gonna need some help, like, and you're like, what? Because it's the first like he backs away and he's like barely like he's like help, and like you're like, ooh. I was like, is he calling for help, like what?
Yeah.
And I was
Like,
like, ooh, that, you know what I mean? That sounded, it felt like small animal, like, or like, you know, like you're lost in the woods. Like, this is not really going to anybody, but like, someone help me. And then he like backs up. He's like, he's gonna need help, and like just like runs off.
you know what it gave? It gave like Stitch, where he goes in the woods and he's like, I'm lost.
Mm-hmm. It was, yeah, no, very much that. Like,
I'm lost.
you're like, oh, me too.
I'm like, oh my God, same.
um, I thought this was the best one yet. I just think it did so much for his character, and
Yeah.
like, and it was so real because it touched on so
Yes.
many like actual things. Because JR does week in and week out be like, he doesn't feel pain. He likes the pain. Like, and like
Yeah.
when you do that, there is a certain expectation of you that gets put on by the audience because they've
Mm-hmm.
now been fed this line that like he doesn't feel pain. So
Mm-hmm.
like, to entertain people that think you don't feel pain, you have to go through extraordinary lengths to make them believe that or like whatever.
Yeah.
So
And I think it was good too because it like the interviews were like humanizing him sort of, but it also reminded you that he is indeed crazy. Like
right,
he is still mankind. He will mandible claw you at the drop of a hat. Like,
right.
and he'll maybe feel bad about it afterwards, up for debate, but like
But
he still
that's on him.
has
That's his own
that's
adventure. Like,
yeah, that's his own adventure. He still has that energy that people expect out of him. Like this
right,
didn't really take that from him. If anything, to me, it made it more scary
right,
because it's like he doesn't even know what he's gonna do.
right.
So good. And then
That.
like the way JR acted after it too, even
Mm-hmm.
before and after, he was like, it was traumatic. He goes, but as a journalist, like I do have to take responsibility. Like
Mm-hmm.
I made some errors.
You're right. Errors in judgment. I asked like questions too close to home.
Yeah.
And he's like, and for that, like, I apologize. And he did a good job selling it, you know,
Oh God,
real somber. Like, I was like, oh, okay.
he sold
I
the
was like,
crap
oh,
out of it.
you're like affected. Got it.
But never forget, this is the same man that asked Vader that question after he just almost killed a journalist. I think of this all the time, you guys. I don't know. This is one of my favorite moments on the podcast that ever happened. But when Xavier went like, baby, That's you. The way I do that in my waking life all the time is so crazy. And it is that JR moment where he asked Vader the same question that another journalist had asked and then almost got him murdered.
Right.
And then was so shocked when Vader got upset.
Right.
And it's like,
fully just like, what?
that's you. God, it's so funny.
Absurd. But we should have known that JR is going to be the one to ask the question.
Yeah, at least he learned this time, and the mandible claw will do that to you. You will see heaven's pearly gates.
There will be some learning, some lesson will be learned.
Some learnings will be learned.
Next
I don't want to do it.
I know. Next we have Rockabilly taking on Bart Gunn. This is apparently our resolution to
I'm disgusted with this
very unfinished Billy Gunn Bart Gunn match that ended with Billy getting injured, which ultimately then resulted in Rockabilly.
I hate it.
Like,
how did we get here?
I don't know, but I'm so over it. I'm so over Rockabilly.
I'm so mad. The way, and if you're not new here, you know that this is a gripe that we have. The way the layup of this story could have been so good, so easy.
It's built in.
It's built in. It's two brothers, one accidentally, temporarily paralyzed the other. And instead, the comeback we get is Rockabilly. I am outraged.
And not even just that. Not even just like the fact that he's Rockabilly. It's also the fact that we got this like squash match. Like, what was this?
That's what I'm saying.
I was like, first of like, I just like Rockabilly has not beat anybody in any kind of decisive manner. So like, I don't know why this was going to be like the time and place to like do that. And like, Bart didn't even get an entrance. I was just like, what is happening? Like, I was just like, it could have been so much more if they had invested any amount of time. But the thing is, like, Rockabilly is such a laughable, like, excuse for a gimmick that it's just like, I wouldn't want to give him more screen time than I do already. Like, I wouldn't want to put Rockabilly in an ongoing feud.
Nope.
I'd put Billy Gunn in an ongoing feud.
Absolutely.
But I'm not gonna put Rockabilly.
Oh God. And like they didn't even like play with the idea that they were brother. There was like no storytelling in this match at all.
No.
Like not even they didn't even like again, they were like it's their first match facing each other since like the whole incident.
Yeah.
And like there was no play on that. There was no interaction about that.
There was no replay of the match. Like
nothing. It was like, and again, like squash match. And
yeah,
why is
he loses,
this the one?
Rockabilly picks up the victory with a swinging neck breaker.
No. Oh my God.
That's not flop.
Flop.
He's Rockabilly's been a flop. I know. And granted, I'm sure Billy Gunn doesn't love this either. And he's probably just trying to make, chicken salad out of chicken shit. But it's like, it's just chicken shit. Like I just don't want it. I don't want it anymore. Stop giving me Rockabilly.
Yeah, and like if this was the big comeback match, like I'm sad for both of them. I'm sad for Bart Gunn. I'm sad for Billy Gunn. This like could have been something that didn't even have to carry on that long.
No,
but it could have been at least something interesting as like a sub, like something. But just
honestly, you at the King of the Ring, you could have that Goldust Crush match and given me Billy and Bart. Give them 20 minutes on a pay-per-view. Let them actually have the match that they were supposed to have months and months ago. Let them like duke it out and then end it. And just end it.
And it ends like they can't fight anymore. They like instead they jump out of the ring and they hug it out. Match ends with in a count out. Nobody wins. Team up again.
Just give me something.
Like something. There's kind of something
like effort there. But my thing is like I would have rather them just keep ignoring like the Bart Billy thing. I would have
then whatever then do this.
Yeah. Just I would have rather them just have not. Because this was so lame.
It was horrible. Sad.
So next, our main event, we cut to the Hart Foundation backstage. They're scheming, they're doing whatever. There's something about, and maybe it's just like because I'm so used to like the Hart Foundation being baby faces in
Mm-hmm.
most of their like situations. I mean, granted, Owen not so much, but like um it always just gives like Disney Channel like bad like villain. Like
Yes.
and Disney Channel like specifically. Like
Mm-hmm.
like it just feels like kids playing bad guys. And you're just like,
Yep.
this isn't
Fully.
like I want to buy it, I really do. But like the way that they like push the cameraman down and they're always just like, get out of here. You're like, oh.
They really give the Mean Girls from That's So Raven, where
Mm.
they're fierce, but they're kind of they're like a little dumb. And
Mm-hmm,
like
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
they're I don't know. They just like they're always scheming, but it like never really works. Like they really give that energy. And I
Right.
wish I could remember their names, but like those three girls, like I can envision them in my head. Or it was two girls. Either way, it's the villains, the nasty girls from like
No,
That's
there's
So
three.
Raven. There's three,
There's
right?
three. There's
The
the
tall
tall black
one.
girl, the short blonde one, and then
Yes.
there was okay, so there was two different ones. There was the one that was played by
What's her name?
Adrienne Bailon.
Adrian Bailon.
Um and then they replaced her with like a different like
A
bad
different
girl
girl. But it
later.
was
But like it was the
same.
same Stooges.
Yeah.
Um
Fully.
so weird.
But it gives that energy.
Yeah, no, I just like I want to believe them as like villains,
Hmm.
but it's just like I'm just like nah. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
really
you
trying to
like
like get on board with like the story, but I'm always just like y'all don't believe this.
I know. I'm trying to poke him like the Pillsbury Doughboy and have him go hee hee.
No,
Like
literally,
that's what it
I,
gives. Like cut it
right.
out.
It's just like I feel like half the time I just feel like I like walked up on like a family barbecue, not like a like bad guys like scheming, you
And
know?
they're like plotting like a water gun prank on the older
Right, like
sister.
they're all like standing in a semicircle, paper plates in hand, just like like you're just like
Eating Auntie Ray's potato salad or
no,
whatever.
fully, yeah. And I just feel like every time I'm just like, I want you to be like meaner, like or like
Evil.
right. And I
Something.
don't
But
know.
it's Canadian evil. It's
That's
Canadian
maybe
brand
that's
evil.
it. It's
Yeah.
like evil light, you
They're like,
know?
excuse me,
Yeah.
grr. Like, pardon me.
Grr.
It's Canadian brand evil.
You know what? You're very right.
God
All
bless you, Canada.
just like all the evil, fewer calories. Got it.
Same new packaging, same great taste.
So stupid. But yeah, so they were scheming, they knocked down the cameraman. We're like, all right. Stone Cold Steve Austin makes his way to the ring and then is attacked by everybody in the nation, just all of
Mm.
them. He
Mm-hmm.
apparently gets injured in that scenario. Something happened to his knee. Mankind, for some reason, shows up because sure. And so then the match becomes Mankind versus Brian Pillman, which is not what was planned at all. And
Mm.
also makes me kind of feel like all of the like weird like vignettes getting to this point, not like weird, but like all of the like backstory of the Stone Cold. I was like, why did we waste all that TV time if we just
S-
weren't gonna do it? Um, and maybe they're saving it. I don't know, but it's like that. I we could have had that match. I think we could have done that one.
yeah.
But
I and also the way I love that they do this, like the way that sometimes Gorilla Monsoon like will not let a match go without him sanctioning it, and then other times they're just like it's a free for all. And I think that Stone Cold calling him a fat ass earlier in the night probably affected his decision. He was like, just
maybe
let Mankind
you know,
freaking
just
do it. I
go
don't even
ahead.
care anymore.
No, fully. He's just like he's too in his feelings.
Oh, he's so upset.
Yeah, it was this match was cool. Again, like the we haven't really seen much of Brian Pillman in the ring. We will at some point we're gonna watch the Brian Pillman After Dark. I'll throw in some matches so that you can kind of get a better semblance of Brian Pillman because this is just
Mm,
not the like best representation of his like in-ring talent. Um
right. Hmm.
because he's very good. Like very good.
I know
Um
you keep saying that to
Yeah,
me.
him and Steve Austin were tag team like champions at one point, like
That I
in
knew.
WCW.
Yeah.
And then
Crazy.
he's just a crazy athletic dude with a lot of health problems unfortunately. But
Mm,
um yeah, so we'll cross that bridge eventually, but this is not the Brian Pillman that um is just like best foot forward. I guess we'll put it that
mm.
way.
The Brian
Um
Pillman of yore.
Right. One part in the match, though, Brian Pillman starts ripping out Mankind's hair and then feeding it to him. That was absolutely insane. That was gross.
It was one of
Absolutely
those
gross.
moments where I was like,
It,
oh, you'll match the freak.
right.
Like that, I was like, oh,
Yeah. Well,
like,
in the beginning of the match, JR is like, I think Pillman might be just as crazy as Mankind. Like, I think, yeah, he's like, I can't say for like certain, but like, I think he might be. And you're
and
like,
you know
yeah.
what? I underestimated that I did because you know what I forgot about it was that insane prayer thing and then the
Mm-hmm.
stare into the camera. I really did. I've been sleeping on how insane Brian Pillman is, and that's my bad. And
Right.
I'm sorry that Miss Lawler had to correct me, but
Yeah, because truly is unhinged. Like
he
it's
really is.
like there really is no tether to this like plane. I feel like you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, it's really true.
um, yeah. So this match just ends in chaos. It ends just what with all of the Hart Foundation once again joining in. Ken Shamrock comes out. Stone Cold like stumbles his way out. So we're kind of getting a semblance of like what this match is or going to be, the 5-on-5 anyway.
Yes,
So we have,
100%.
the Hart Foundation, obviously.
Mhm.
And now we have your Stone Cold, Mankind. Ken Shamrock is seemingly going to be one of the members on the
Which
team.
is random,
And
but
then Shawn Michaels,
duh.
because tag team champion, so that makes the most sense. And then who is going to be the fifth one?
Well, yeah, I know. Like, what
We
a
should we
because
should guess and see if we're like how wrong we are.
I almost want to guess Ahmed Johnson, but only because he's the only person I can like really think of. Because I don't think it's gonna be Rockabilly or Bark-On. I don't think it's gonna be like
My thing with Ahmed is like he just had a thing with the Undertaker last week, which is very not resolved.
right,
So I
right,
don't
right.
know what's going on there.
Like who else? Because we know it's not Psycho Sid.
No, we know it's not Sid.
Like who else is there? Like, is it this isn't like what's his name's like Triumphant Return, is it? Wildman's?
Maybe, maybe.
Maybe? I really don't know.
I'm trying to think like who else is like a
Because I
you
would have never guessed Ken Shamrock before this episode. Would have never even.
right. No, it
I like
wasn't a thought.
completely forgot about him. Sorry, Ken.
Mm-mm.
So I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like who's a baby face that they could throw in.
Like, is Rocky? Like, where's he?
Maybe
What's he doing?
not
Is
much.
Savio Vega gonna come back? Because now he's been fired. Like,
I,
there's some.
honestly, who knows what's going on with those
I
two?
know that's weird. Maybe they formed their own faction.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see. But doubt it. They didn't like each other.
Yeah,
Like
no,
they were
I'm
already
fully
fighting when
kidding.
they were in another faction. I highly doubt they're going to be like, oh yeah, let's link up now.
Yeah,
Um,
no, Savio's gonna be throwing hands. I'm excited to see him back on
return
his
to his
bullshit.
roots.
Yeah, return to the
Give
roots.
me, yeah. I was like, give me just like my Rican flavored Savio. I don't know what like is happening over, but like back to his roots. Give me the Puerto Rican I want. Like,
Yeah, and he let it's been dormant for so long it cracked wide open when he
oh,
was
he
fired.
he fully did the like I'm so mad I switched languages thing where he was
Mm-hmm.
just like
And amen.
and he was going in. I was, let me tell you, he was like, I turned my back on all like my Puerto Ricans. I was like, and for what? Like a waste of time, like blah blah blah. Like, ooh, he was going in. It was a good time.
I love that about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's back. He's back and better than ever.
All right. So that has been this edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you all for listening, watching, wherever you find us. Um, yeah, we're back. We're so back.
We're back. We're back.
Sorry for missing a week. Illness. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It
And it
is the
wasn't
best
even
of
like
us.
COVID light where like we still could have, even though we were home, we still could have like figured it out. We were like
No,
deceased.
I described it to my roommates the other day where I was like, I could have just like clipped those like 4 days of my life and just like omitted them, would have made no difference. I did absolutely
Absolutely
nothing. I did
nothing.
nothing.
Slept the whole time. I could not even believe how much
Honestly, it wasn't even
sleeping.
any of like like this was my first time getting it, so it was like not even any of like the physical things that was
Nope.
like so bad. It was like the brain fog and the sleeping. Like I was
Yep.
just so exhausted.
Me too. Yeah. And like I was telling Xavier because my roommate and I both had it that we were just on stupid mode. Like so stupid. Like anything we said to each other just sounded like the teacher from Charlie Brown. I was like,
wah, wah, wah,
what?
wah,
Like,
wah.
yeah, so there wasn't even like it
There was
wasn't
no
even a
shot.
glimmer in the eye of that we could have done this. But again, life, I mean, I at this point, I feel like so much has happened in our personal lives. Like, I don't know what else could, I'm not trying to tempt
Yeah.
fate,
Mhm.
but I'm like, there has to be the light at the end of the tunnel now.
No,
We can be
fully.
like back.
No, I think my characters had enough growth. Thank you.
Development.
Like,
Yeah. Like give me at least like a month at
no, 100%.
least.
Like I need to live my like montage, my like happy montage. Like
Yes,
can I
until
just
the next trauma comes, but at least let me have the montage and for
like
a little
live in it
bit.
for like a little bit?
A little bit. I
Like,
just want to be back to our routine of this for sure. For us,
amen.
for you, for all of you, because we
Mhm.
love you. But
So
we're
what do we want to
back.
do? What do we want to do for After Dark? Do we want to do? We have options.
I
So, and
know.
again, whatever we don't do, we will just add to another week, guys. So don't get too upset if we don't do it. So on the table we have Cody Rhodes's what 10
10
things?
Essentials interview he did for GQ, which literally dropped, I think, either today or yesterday.
Love that. Love
Watched
that.
immediately, had to know. And I kind of want to bank that one only because I want to do more research on the name that he dropped that
Heard.
I've been pining for
Yes.
like a
Yes. Yes.
freak.
Yes. I
And
love
like
that.
I feel like discuss that
Yeah.
also.
Mhm.
Um
Or we have the uh Owen and Brett double feature is what I'm calling it. So it'll be Owen Hart versus Brett at WrestleMania and then in the cage match at SummerSlam.
yeah, I think we should do that.
All right,
I
guys.
want to
So
I want to watch a cage match. Baby's first cage match. It's
let's
not,
do
but
yeah, no, it's fine. It's a good one though. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So stick around. Actually, no, we're releasing these. Never mind.
we're still getting used to it. Whatever.
We're still getting used
We'll
to
see you
it.
Thursday and Saturday.
We'll see you Thursday and Saturday. Love to see it. Love ya. See ya. Bye.
Bye.